Hang on. Bloody bastard, this camera. Getting it in the right position. I need to sort it out properly. I've just got it resting on a bloody seat and just hope that it stays in the right position, but it never really works, as you would expect. Bear with me whilst I faff about. Ever the professional. As always, well and truly prepared for a good quality stream. So try and get my wheel in, because I am aware I'm not the prettiest guy in the world, so you don't really want to be looking at my face. Probably prefer to see what I'm doing on the wheel. I thought the wheel was moving, the camera was moving on its own there, but no, I think that's about right. Unfortunately, I've started this a bit. Keep your eyes on the screen and not me. So we'll go through into the daily races, see what we've got. I am just rolling a cigarette at the same time. I got up about an hour ago and I'm yet to have a smoke yet, as I'm trying to smoke less, so trying not to have a smoke as soon as I get up in the morning. So it looks like the first one I can enter starts in 5 minutes at 9 o'clock, so I'll jump in that one to start with, because I've already got myself qualifying time. Let me actually look. See if I'm anywhere near on the qualifying times first. Right, so that's ideal. I can't see any of the times because of my own face. So I think what I'll do actually is have a 15-minute qualifying session and then skip into the race and see where we go from there, basically. No. Do I? Don't I? Do I? It's going to be a 12-lap race. Potentially with that lap time, qualifying time, I'm going to be running around at the back. Do I really want to be trying to chase for 12 laps in the Group 2s round here? I think that'll put me too far back on the start to actually have any kind of chance. So I better go for... I don't know what to do. I'll go for... Oh, balls to it. I'll go for the race entry and just see how we go in the first one. But like I say, not expecting to be anywhere near the front there. Anyway, I have to ignore this little hiccup of having to roll a cigarette. Now we'll go into the remainder of qualifying time. Might just about get a chance to get a lap in. I'm sure the more intelligent amongst you have subscribed already, but if you haven't, feel free to subscribe if you enjoy what I do, and I'll certainly, as I'm out of work at the moment basically, so I'll certainly be trying to improve my content and my channel. I want to do that going forward, but previously with the jobs that I've had, it's made it difficult, so I need to find something that lends itself to give me a bit more time to focus a bit more on building my YouTube channel and trying to get some more subscribers and actually building it up to be something quite popular in the future, hopefully. And that's my plan. Don't get me wrong, I'm not out there to make myself famous or anything like that, but it'd just be nice to know that the effort that you put in is actually getting watched by more and more people. So last corner. So Autopolis, not the easiest track. Luckily these Group 2 cars have got awesome brakes. Do excuse me whilst I have my morning smoke. If you don't like smoking, I do apologise. I'm not asking you to smoke it, but you might have to watch me smoking away for 5 minutes or so. On another note as well, as I've just said, I'm out of work at the moment and I am looking for work. I'm not one of these that's intending on not having a job, so feel free, anyone that watches this, if you've got a job for me or anything, comment or get in contact. I can't promise I'll take the job, but and depending on where it is and where you are in the country, it probably won't be possible, but still nice to know, and it gives me an option or two other than just looking at job websites and word of mouth. I doubt that'll happen because no one ever leaves me a comment or speaks to me. But to be fair, I'm not very good at reading the comments whilst I'm actually doing the stream, so fair play. No point in commenting on my stream and then I read it 3 days later. So it was a terrible opening lap. Just trying to ease on the power, no TC on in this Group 2 Nissan. So just trying to ease on the power when I'm getting back on the power, otherwise the rear ends can step out quite easily. There's quite a lot of power in the rear wheels waiting to go every time I hit that right hand loud pedal. Shout out to anyone that ends up watching this from SimFX for our race tonight. We've got a 1 hour endurance race at Spa in the Group 3 cars, the last race of the season. Oh, so I've not qualified too bad there, I'm 12th. But yeah, it should be a good one, and everyone with high hopes for the last race, trying to get those final points, trying to move up the table if possible. So it should be a good one between us all, and thoroughly looking forward to that later on. Starts at 8:45, there's qualifying, and the race starts at 9. I would say I'd stream that, but I'm normally in a lobby with all the guys that we race with, so I'm not going to change tradition. I'll stay in the lobby with those guys and probably stream next season's races if I end up in the pros, because I won't know anyone to talk to in the chat anyway, so it might be a wise move to move over to streaming my endurance races, because like I say, I'm not going to know anyone to chat to anyway. I've become quite familiar with the Pro-Am boys over the last couple of, 3 seasons that I've raced with them. So, it'd be a bit of a shame to leave the Pro-Am, but at the same time, exciting to race against people who are a lot faster than me. There's one guy in particular that sticks in my mind from the pros in SimFX, which is a guy called West, which is incredibly fast. You could argue unbeatable from his results this season. He just seemed to take the championship from race 1 more or less. This is my whoever's watching, I do apologise for not reading the messages out. I don't like the messages being on screen, taking up half my screen, and conveniently my phone has broke as soon as I've quit my job basically. My phone's broke and my car won't start, so that one of my cars won't start, but I've got another luckily. But yeah, it's just sod's law, that, isn't it? So, see what we can do. I've done nothing but concentrate on everything but the track so far. So starting in 12th, let's see how it goes. Looking at the qualifying time from the guy in first, he's about just less than 2 seconds quicker than me around here. So that tells me I am not up to speed, but hopefully it'll all come in this race. And I often find sometimes you can't quite get it together in qualifying. Just jump in a race, and you'll probably learn better lines from the people you're following that have qualified in front of you, and then go back into qualifying and do another race later on, and you'll probably improve in the second qualifying session that you do because you're more familiar with the lines that other people are taking. So there's a big bunch up in front and loads of people have gone off. So I'm already up into 9th without having to do anything, just going down the straight, which is nice. Looking for the orange marker on the left hand side for the braking point, and then get it turned in nice and early into T1. Bit of oversteer as I get my foot down a bit too enthusiastically on the exit. And here we go into T2. It's a made up track, so as far as I know there's no corner names for these corners, not that I'd remember them anyway, but... Oh, so someone's trying to ram me from behind, trying to get down the inside. He did just about manage, but then he had a bit of a moment mid-corner by the look of it and lost the rear end, so he's backed off again. I'll be honest, I wasn't aware that he was coming, so it caught me out a little bit, did that. Tricky corner this, with a little crest on the exit. Just halfway around the corner you've got a little crest to deal with, and then the car can go so light over there. As we just look back, the guy in behind looks like he's just done that and he's fired it into the wall. So it's a tricky corner is that one. Closing up on the guy in front as we touch bumpers for a second. Very lightly as we bunch up through here. All very hesitant and slow with the guys in front. There's only one line really through there at the moment. Coming towards the last corner now, onto the straight. So there's tyre wear on this, so I do have to be careful. Fuel wear's on as well, so I need to think about short shifting. This is the first Daily C race I've run, so I'm working out as I go. I don't know if I can get through the full race with fuel. I suspect fuel's not going to be an issue, but tyres are. But I'm not quite sure. Decent run out of there, gives me a chance. Someone else has gone wide and had an incident there, so up into 7th, 8th even. Battling for 7th as we speak. Not quite managing to extract the pace out of the car in the opening laps. Guys behind bunching up behind me again. Heard a bit of contact, but not me involved this time. I'll be honest, I had a go on this last night, but I keep mistaking the corners for different corners than they are, which doesn't help. I'm not carrying the ultimate pace where I should be. Again, nice and easy on the throttle coming out of there to avoid the rear end stepping out on you. No TC on, it's so easy to do over a crest like that. Trust me, if you try and go too early on that corner, you are going, you will spin. So someone else has speared off to the left hand side. Rest in peace, and put me up into 7th. And there's a big bunch up in front as well. The cars are ghosting luckily though. Oh, just unghost in front of me as I was just about to drive through him. So find ourselves in 6th at the moment now, so not bad from 14th on the grids to start with, just by keeping it incident free basically. Everyone else having scrappy moments ahead. Contact from the guys in front which slowed them down. I had nowhere to go, ended up going into the back of them, so I've lost the position there and I'm gonna lose another one as the guy on the right dives to the inside. I just thought if I'd have defended that then he'd have just gone into the back of me because of his overspeed, so you could argue I should have maybe tried to defend that 7th place there, but I don't think I would have done. I think the guy behind was going that quickly, he'd have hit me and it would have resulted in even more contact and a worse position again. Massive moment through there. Oh my god, I'm getting hit as I get all scrappy. I've just about managed to keep my 8th place though. Oh, that was horrible though. Bad driving going on so far, I'm not doing very well. Here's my first turn of the wheel today though, I've just jumped on about 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I keep getting hit from behind which doesn't help, and that's the final straw, that one, and that's put me off well and truly. So that guy should have a penalty for that, since they just ploughed into the side of me and put me off the track. As I try and get going, I have a bit more contact with someone else as they're trying to get past me, and then he hits me from behind as well. Don't know how these guys expect to not brake through these corners, but apparently they don't brake and they just go into the bumper in front of them. So it was going a bit too well, was that? from 14th into 6th momentarily, I think it was, or 7th, and now back down into 15th. So that's race over pretty much, unless something miraculous happens in front again. Cannot get this front end hooked up, seems to have so much understeer, there's this car. Just the way I'm driving it, I guess, but let's actually, now I've got a bit of space in front and behind, let's actually try and get a fast lap in, see if we can get somewhere near back into this race. It's all gone disastrous in that lap. Bit slow through there, but tied in, which is important. Oh, why are people just ramming me from behind? I thought these were meant to be decent people racing, or the same as me. Maybe not that good, but half reasonable and clean. I'm starting to get used to this car a little bit, and half the battle is getting on the power smoothly enough without just planting your foot, because that's what causes your problems. Especially, you could put the TC on. I've gone very deep into there, but need to make the advantage by straight lining the exit. So a guy in front having a penalty, which gains me a position as he slows right down. Oh, terrible into there. Just about managed to get past him before he unghosts. We've got so much understeer. I'm sure I did this race last night. Well, I didn't do a race, but I did a bit of qualifying, a few laps last night, and I'm sure I didn't have this much understeer. So all I can suspect from that is it's the way I'm driving and my tyres are going as well. This is where it goes sometimes. I like to think I'm quite good at this game, but it don't always go perfectly. I'm even getting caught by 17th now as he dives down the inside into T1. Oh, I cannot get this together in this car, I don't know why. Everyone's struggling a little bit with traction out of there by the look of it. The guy in front doing the same as me, losing the rear end as he gets the power down. Maybe I've underestimated these Group 2s a little bit. I've just jumped in thinking, they're not that hard to drive, but there's certainly an element of difficulty to them. This is the corner I keep getting wrong. I need to cut across that curb nice and early. Lost the rear end a bit, but manageable. I know what I'm doing wrong on this track. It's a real rhythm track. I've done an hour-long race round here in a championship before, and you have to really just get into that rhythm of the corners. It's not flat out between the corners. It's all just lift and coast and a little bit of throttle here and then lift off and roll it in, and it's all just a rhythm track. You really get into the rhythm of it and then you start finding the pace. So it looks like it's going to be a horrific result. I've gone back 2 places from where I started, which is never good. But we have still got half the race to go, so let's keep it up. Certainly don't want to be quitting. Guy down the inside, I'll give him room. I'm not even bothered about the result now really, but I don't want to be quitting because I'm going to lose DR if I quit. So, but I would like to, don't get me wrong. These are the moments where I definitely feel like quitting. Getting a decent start, getting up there, and then having contact from about 3 different people behind me that just put me off the track in various places and made it very difficult for me to stay ahead. just putting me towards the back of the field. I never actually, no, no, it's going from bad to worse, is this? Lesson number 1 of streaming, never stream your first race of the day. There you go. But at the same time, this is a good thing about streaming. You can put good videos up all day and give yourself, give this false impression of yourself that you're absolutely amazing, because all people ever see of you is good driving and wins and, you know, good results. But at the end of the day, sometimes it is a struggle, and it's good to see that, I think. Personally, it might not be the most entertaining to watch, and you're just watching someone driving crap for an hour maybe. But at the same time, it's where you learn a lot. You can learn a lot. I'm not saying you do. You have to think about it. But I'm going out on the hards this time. I've got enough fuel. No need to put for more fuel. Those medium tyres are giving me some grief, and they have right from the start, to be fair. So I'm now down in 19th place, which I believe is right at the back, the very last position. Let's see if we can, personal goal now, don't finish last. Let's see if we can gain a few positions at least one. But like I say, I think it gives an interesting perspective, and there's plenty of good races out there. You can watch loads of people just racing around and doing perfect laps, but how many people are actually prepared to show you the crap at times as well? Well, let's be honest, we all are, I think. Everyone that's into this kind of thing and drives with a wheel, you have your good and bad days. You certainly have your good days where it feels like you're just on top form and you can't do anything wrong, and then there's other days where you just cannot get it going. It doesn't matter what you do, it just doesn't feel right, the brakes don't feel right, you have no confidence, you hit everyone that you try and pass and it just all goes wrong. And that's the way it goes. That's what racing's about, in a way. It's not a given that you're just fast and that's what you're going to be. You could say you were fast yesterday, but are you fast today? Every day is a different day, and every time you drive a car, you've got to drive the car. At the end of the day, you know, it's not just a given that you can do the same lap time you did yesterday. You've got to drive as well to be able to do it. I need to look at these messages, because 7 messages now I haven't looked at. I do apologise again if you didn't hear me earlier for not looking at your messages straight away. My phone's broken, so I ain't got YouTube up on my phone next to me, and I don't like having the messages on screen really, because it takes up half the screen. And well, it's not even the fact that it takes up half the screen, it's the fact that it puts me right over to the I'm not in the middle. My car isn't in the middle of the screen, which you could argue is like an onboard camera in a way, where you're off to one side. But I always race in bonnet cam in Gran Turismo Sport in particular, and I don't like being off the centre if you're in bonnet cam. Anyway, that's pretty boring. I can waffle on, I'm so boring at times, so I even bore myself. I feel like I'm slowly getting the hang of this, but I don't think this is the race for me. It's a struggle. Autopolis has never been a great track for me, but I do quite like it, so I always persevere. But I've never done brilliantly at it. I think I've had a 4th round here before in the league race, but that's about the best I've ever done. So into the 41s, that was my fastest lap there. Tells me I'm doing something right, even though it might not be obvious. Fresh tyres is probably the key. Four laps to go. I'm actually catching the guys in front a little bit. I'm not really caught up to 18th, but we're catching 17th between us. I do feel like I'm getting used to this track now, so race 2 should definitely, this is what I'm talking about. After this, I'm going to go and do a little qualifying. Probably only do like 4 laps, something like that, not loads of time. But do a bit of qualifying, actually try to get the car to working for me instead of battling it. And then try and get a better lap time out of it by using the experience from this race to do that. I'm not bothered about winning every single race or trying to win every single race, so this would have been nice obviously, but as soon as I went backwards with that contact from the guy behind, then use it as like a training session almost really. A bit of a testing session for the next one. Again, keeping an eye on the tyres, noting how long they last on the mediums and the hards. And all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about, not that anyone listens to these, but thank you very much if you do, and you keep tuning in as well, and it's not your first time, it's not your first rodeo, and I wanted to talk about the new league Bob started. If you've not heard of it, get involved. Group 3 league from the Mature Racing Club. A guy called Bob Bristow set it up, and looks like it should be potentially a really, really good league. Some really quick drivers in there from the MRC, and it seems to be a popular idea. So there's 3 different groups going on at the moment. So there's plenty of people racing in there. 16 lobbies with 3 lobbies with 16 people in each, or thereabouts, maybe 14 or 15. So it should be an interesting championship, and I'm thinking I might do the replay videos for it. So let me know, comment if you think it's a good idea or not about doing replay videos. Is that people? Looks like I'm getting caught up by the leaders, but yeah, probably. I'm really looking forward to it as a good championship, so I think it will be. I don't want all my replay videos to be group 3 replays, but at the same time it's a good opportunity to do some replay videos, which I really enjoy doing, and I haven't had much chance to do recently, so I'm thinking I might do it for that league in particular. I think it could be worth doing as well, with all the really competitive good drivers in there. Some very familiar names as well throughout the League 2 which I'm in. Quite a lot of people that I've raced against in the past and that have beaten me, and I've beaten them on occasions, but more often than not they beat me. Few names I could mention, but I won't in particular. But yeah, it should be good. Everyone's doing a bit of testing in the cars at the moment and getting a feel for what they want to drive for the season. It's going to be a 20-minute well, there's a qualifying session. I'm not quite sure on the exact details of how long the qualifying session is, but there's a qualifying session, then a 20-minute race, and then a reverse grid race from the results from race 1, which is going to be a 40-minute race at a different track. So it should be really quite interesting format. Nice bit of contact from the guy at the side. I've given up defending, as you might be able to see, if anyone has actually got this far into this race. Don't blame you if you've for those that have left earlier. Certainly not my best driving. I might do Daily Race A instead, even though the title's Daily Race C. Bit of contact from the guys ahead. Find these Group 2 cars really wide, or this track's really narrow, one or the other. When you do have a chance to get past, there's just no room. He's just had a moment and then caused me to go into the back of him. So I picked up a penalty as well, just to make this race even better. Got myself up into 16th now though, so we're having an absolute belting couple of laps. Right, we're on to the last lap, but not one of these laps has been good. On to the last lap now though, so the agony's nearly over. Try and have a reasonable last lap. Oh, the guy in front, one guy in front's gone off and he's been reset to track, so that's another position made up. Oh, happy days, in 15th now. I mean, how much further can we get? We might win the race at this rate. Back in 16th after serving the penalty though. Oh dear. Well, I've pretty much shown you everything that you shouldn't do in race C, so consider it a learning video in that regard. Everything that I've done, try and avoid doing. My English is terrible at times. I say at times, it's pretty much all the time. Can I make one more position? Oh no, I got my foot down too early with my keenness to get past him. And lost the rear end on the last corner. And there we go, 16th in the end. Oh dear. Let's just gloss over that. That didn't happen. Now, like I say, it's good to have. Well, it's not good to have a bad race, but it's almost important to have a bad race to make you realise that you have to try. It's not you're not just given good races. Which, when you have quite a lot of good races in a row, you start to feel like you deserve good races. And then when it all goes wrong, it's even harder to take. Right, I'm just going to shut the window, it's a bit cold. Back in 5 seconds. So it gives you a chance, gives me a chance, not you, to look at the massages. See what you've been abusing me with, no doubt. Whoever's been writing. Where are we? How do you even do it? Need to press that. Broadcast settings. View comments, that's the one. Aha! Come on, good luck, be careful in 2-1 and then I quit smoking. I don't think I quit smoking, but yeah, the rest of it you're probably right with. Move your brake balance forward to reduce your rear time. Right, should have done. Nah, should have read all these. Sorry, Phil. I didn't have the. I always forget you're actually called Jesper. Actually, I should call you Jesper. Anyway, sorry, Phil. Yeah, I didn't have the messages on. Hopefully, you heard me saying that. And whilst the camera's not on, I can just light my cigarette again, so I don't get told off by it. Yeah, it's a tricky one. So, get back into it. And do I have a go? There's only 3 minutes left. I could do a bit of qualifying time, so the other ones are available. Do I go into race A instead? Is that going to be any fun? I've got 13-minute qualifying in that, so it's going to give me a chance to have a bit more of a fair race. I'm going to do that. Might not be the most entertaining, and it's jumping from car to car, which is never great if you're actually trying to get some decent lap times. But we're going to go do it anyway and jump into race A instead. So it means my title of my stream's wrong, but never mind. Like I say, ever the professional. In fact, what I will actually do is put the comments on properly and just deal with it. Just get used to it for a couple of races. How do I do that? That's the one. There we go, you can write a message if you want, and I'll just put up with being on the tiny screen to the left hand side a little bit. But yeah, here we go, let's do a bit of qualifying for daily race A instead. Already feels weird, I'm not in the middle of the screen. See TC flashing away at the bottom, so let's see what that's on. It's on 3 at the moment, turn it off. See how we go with it. Might turn it back on, but I feel that this car should be easy enough to drive with it. It's quite underpowered. I'm going to shift the brakes towards the front, which is just what I naturally prefer a little bit, if you can get away with it without the tyre wear and everything. So, this is an incredibly long straight. Oh, and I've broke too late as well. Oh god, the brakes are terrible. I did have a go at this yesterday, but again, I think I'm just driving really badly today. Which is no good when Phil's watching me, since he's my main competitor in the race tonight. Oh, don't do it. Right, I need to concentrate a little bit here and stop waffling on so much. Does actually feel quite weird being on the left a little bit. Wonder if my an in-car view would, no, I suppose that's a little bit better. Hard to just jump from a Group 2 into a street car and get used to the grip straight away. Completely different kettle of fish on the brakes and the tyres, and just all in all speed and handling. I won't go as far as to say fascinating, but thank you, Phil. Yeah, my bloody smoke's gone out. Mind you, this straight's that long. I've got plenty of time to lie here again. Alright, let's actually try to get around T1 and do a reasonable lap for qualifying. Otherwise I've got no hope in this race either. So early on the brakes this time. Don't know what sign I broke at. Probably around the 150, 200 mark. Just because the brakes aren't up to much. It's the tyres as well, you've got to bear in mind. You've got sports hard tyres on. So they're not that great with the braking performance either. Oh, that's slow through there, but nice and controlled at the same time. Looking to get back to this apex with a lift mid-corner. And then early on the brakes and roll it through the apex. You don't want to be braking to the apex there really. It just gives you too much to do to try and come out fast. So you want to be early on the brakes, roll it in so you just hit the apex, ready to get back on the throttle as soon as possible. Not braking all the way to the apex like you do in some corners. Try and hook up that entry apex, missed it and went wide. And then looking for a bit of a late apex around there, I missed it by a mile again. This car is quite tricky to drive, to be fair. It's got no grip at the front whatsoever really. It feels like you've almost got to stop to get around the corners. Trying to read Phil's message. Messed up my last corner. Blame you for that one, Phil. Phil's alright. Just for the name, yeah. Phil's alright. Just rewinding the stream between me setting to work. Nice. I wish I could. Well, I can now, I don't have a job, but I wish I could have sat there watching a stream at work. That would have been good. Right, let's try it again to get a good lap in, because I'm failing miserably so far. Missed the apex by a mile again, so late on the power out. Typical. I know, slowing fast out, easier said than done. When it feels like neither's good in this car, but I think I'm just struggling to convert from driving that Group 2. It is a different thing. This is going to sound like an excuse, but just to explain myself a little bit, it is a bit of a different thing when you're trying to talk and drive at the same time as well. You're not completely focused, and it's one thing talking to other people in the chat party, because you can kind of just say what you like, but when you're streaming you kind of feel that you've got to commentate on something relevant to what you're doing. If that makes sense. And it becomes that little bit more difficult because of that. This next lap is a lap, I can feel it now. Car's coming to me, I've got used to it a little bit more. Not getting the understeer I was by just doing what Phil said, going slowing fast out. I've actually gained on the last corner there, so this is a faster lap, even though I was behind my Ghost the whole time. My qualifying record at the bottom right there is 2:02.459, so it's quite a bit quicker than what I've done already anyway. That was only a 2:04 then, so I'm like 2 seconds off what I've done already in yesterday's attempt. So I need to definitely hone in what I'm doing. And crucially in cars like this, you've got to hit those apexes, because you just don't have the acceleration to make up the time by taking a different line out of the corner or anything like that. You've got to be hitting the lines right, and that's what I've failed to do so far pretty much. Try and carry the speed through there, miss the apex a little bit, but as long as I don't go too wide it's alright. Half a second up in time, that's good. Roll it in through here, keep getting too much understeer and going too wide mid corner through there, so just rolling it through nice and close to the right hand side the whole way. Early on the downshift and the brakes, oversteer on the way out, so it's going to lose me loads of time. It's actually giving me a corner cut as well. I didn't think that was a corner cut. Did hit the apex quite heavy, but I wouldn't have expected a penalty there, but there you go, that's Gran Turismo for you. Still learning, so even though this lap's got a penalty in it now, that was good through there. Still might as well push and see if I can improve on what I've been doing in the previous laps. So coming up somewhere along here to serve my penalty. I think it's on the start finish straight, to be fair. Last corner, which is always a tricky one, trying to get that late apex so you can get on the power early and back down the straight for the next lap. So nearly 0.8 up before I hit that penalty mark there. So I've lost all my time down the straight now, and I'm going to end up with a slower lap in the end. So penalties again in cars like this, you just can't afford to get a penalty. Send me all the money you like, Phil, it's much appreciated. No one's ever sent me anything yet either. Don't get me wrong, I know I don't have loads of subscribers or anything, but no one's ever sent me anything. It'd be nice if someone sent me even just a sticker or something. You can send me a Danish Racing League sticker. I enjoyed that race I had a week or so ago against a couple of you boys in the Danish Racing League. I didn't realise till the end that I was the only English guy in there. and they ended up winning. I had a really good race and came through from 4th, I think it was, and won the race. It was only a bit of fun, but it was still really good close racing, as I always expect from you boys. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you're part of all that. Good through there for a change, nearly a second up on my time at the moment, which is obviously nice to see. Trying to keep it nice and tidy through there. Too early on the brakes there, but let's see if we can make that work on the exit. So just carrying the speed all the way through the corner because of that early braking. Accidental really, but try and make up for your mistake as soon as you've made one really. I knew that I'd broken too early. So then you try and pick out a different line to make the most of it. So nearly 1.4 seconds up on my time here. Which still I don't think will actually be an improvement on my fastest of yesterday. Nope, still slower than yesterday, so still losing speed in a lot of places. Could have gained a lot of time out of that last corner though. I'm already 0.3 up on the straight. So this is the lap. If there is going to be a chance to do it, this is the one. Decent T1 as well. Not sure if I'm revving this car out properly. Well, that's the least of my worries at the moment. Need to get the lines right. Feels like it bogs down a little bit in 4th out of there, but it just prevents you having that extra gear change in there. It won't really last long and mean anything. Again, just trying to hug that inside curb the whole way. Let's not get a penalty this time. Slow out of there, but crucially, I didn't have a moment at the rear end this time, so I've actually gained time overall. But it felt very slow coming out. But that's the difference. If we don't have a moment of oversteer, these cars, they're just not quick enough to. As soon as you have a moment of oversteer, then you're going slowly. It's too much for the car to handle, and it slows you down. It loses you so much momentum. So you've got to almost be mistake-free in that regards, and not have any understeer, and drive the car in that way, so you don't get. You drive into the limits of the car rather than over the limit and try and deal with it like you can in some cars. This is driving to the limit of the car. You don't really want the understeer, you don't want any oversteer, and that's where the pace is ultimately. Come on, this is a faster lap, so this is an improvement on my lap time. This is over a second quicker again on my last lap that I just did. So that was quite a good one for me. So 2:01.919, which is my quickest so far. How much longer have I got? Can't see where the time is. Guess it doesn't really matter. Have I entered the race? I might not have entered the race actually. Put me off for T1, did that? Where's the time? I'm going to see if I've actually entered now. Otherwise that's a bit pointless. Tell me time's not up. It's finished as well. God damn. And that one's finished. Oh, god damn. How have I managed that? I just went on qualifying. Well, anyway, I suppose I've got myself a time for that later on, but no, that was not my intention whatsoever. That's a silly mistake. In that case, I'm going to go on the only one that is available. True, yeah. I'll do what you say, Phil. Try and entertain you. You're the only one watching. Oh no, there's 2 people watching too. Yeah, I need to. This is. Let's have a look at the qualifying rankings. So I've done the 1:37.6. Tempted to watch one of these laps. So we're going to watch the fastest guy in the world's time. Lap, should I say. Fastest lap in the world around this track. On this particular race so far. And see what kind of lines he's taking, what he's doing. Almost doesn't help sometimes doing this because the people that you're watching are just that good that I can't actually replicate what they're doing. So you might be able to watch and see exactly what they're doing, but trying to do it yourself is a different matter altogether. Ooh, really late on the brakes into there. Just nice and calm and steady. He hasn't got TC on either, just threw a quick glance towards the bottom. No TC on for this guy, so just controlling it all nicely on the throttle. Looking there at his throttle input, just half throttle most of the way around there until he got the grip at the front, which obviously you would expect, it's pretty obvious, but just watching how he's doing it. Trail braking all the way to the corner again, which you would expect, especially off one of the off the fastest guy in the world. Yeah, you're right about TC as well. I think it is a car that's it's ultimately faster without TC on, but it is a bit of a tricky car to drive, saying that. No worries, Phil. Enjoy. Hopefully it goes well. So that's it from that lap. Just a good, clean, quick lap, really. Ridiculously late braking. That's the first thing I took from that. So let's jump into race. Oh, it's actually available now as well, so jump into race, see you again, so that's the title of the stream. Jump in that same car. That was impressive how that guy went through that second corner on the brakes there. Certainly haven't thought about taking it that late on the braking. But see what we can do now. I've got to use the downforce more. I'm so used to driving the Group 3 cars at the moment that it's a bit of a struggle jumping between cars. I used to be quite good at jumping between cars, but I find it harder and harder as I drive the Group 3s more and more. Don't know why I just did that. Probably wasn't even camera either. Right, so I've got 13 minutes and a half for qualifying. What tyres do I want to be on? Medium for the qualifying. I kind of need to remember to put them back to hard before the end. Here we go, first lap of qualifying. I've got a 1:37.682 so far in this, so it'd be nice if we could beat that, because that's not particularly fast. I'm braking way too early into that first corner. In fact, I'm going to restart or retry that instead of wasting the lap and wasting the time. I was way too early into that first corner. Lesson learned straight away. Again as well, because I'm so used to driving the Group 3 cars, that's where all my braking references have become. That's what I've kind of got in mind every time I'm going into a braking zone on each track, where I'm braking the Group 3s rather than anything else. Oh, just trying a little bit too hard that time. So somewhere in between. Don't want too many retries. Just wasting time doing no laps. Gonna try the TC on. Just to give me a little bit of confidence on the throttle out of the corners. Oh no! Oh, this is going well. That's the problem with TC. As soon as I turn it on, I'm going to retry one more time. Good start. I'm going to turn these messages off again, just to give myself a bit more screen as well. It doesn't feel right. Bear with me. That's better. I will look at the messages again, but just not right now. No, it's a lot better. Actually, back full screen, it does make a hell of a difference. I ain't got the biggest TV, you see, but I have it pretty bloody close. Turn the TC off again as well. It just feels right having it off. So trying to brake roughly where that guy broke with the fastest time, but got it all wrong. And I've just ended up going wide through that full section. I need to brake later there, definitely. Not a lot later, but I'm braking and then rolling into the corner where I should be braking all the way to the apex on that corner. Just roll it through here. Use this first lap now, I've wasted it and messed it up already. It's just a bit of an eye for the next one. Bit wide on the turning for that one, so I don't want to be doing that. Keep doing that as well, getting that understeer mid corner on there, just by trying to take that bit too much, carry that bit too much mid corner speed. So could do with changing my brake balance a little bit as well, I think. I'm already behind my ghost. Let's change the brake balance to the front. Felt better into there, that did, straight away. Done it again, rolling in instead of braking to the corner. Feel like you've got to be so heavy on the brakes, it's hard to get the timing exactly right. So much just clicked because I've just caught my ghost and gone past it. Just mid corner throttle really. Keeping every corner with a bit of throttle on seems to work. Keeps the downforce going again as well, I suppose. Thinking about it logically. Gives you the downforce throughout the corner rather than just in the faster corners. So gonna try and use that throughout this lap now. Bit of mid corner speed all the time on the throttle. Not particularly that first corner because that's a tricky one, but the rest of the track. Braking to the front's definitely made a huge difference as well. Feels a lot more balanced and the rear end's not wanting to step out as much. Carried a little bit of speed there and caught the grass, but gone deep, so straighten up the exit, get a good exit. Oversteer but caught it nicely. Ooh, massive moment, but caught it again. Another touch of oversteer on the exit there, a little bit up on my time but not brilliant. Better through T1, hesitant slightly on the exit, so it felt like I was going slightly wide. Getting used to the pushing a bit more in this car now and using the downforce, it's good. That's a better lap. So that's actually improved my lap time there, which is good, obviously. The whole idea of qualifying, I ain't got long left, so I need to get the most out of these last couple of laps I've got. Tempted to go even more to the front with the brake balance and see if it makes even more difference. Positive difference and not any kind of negative effect to it. Hugging that apex all the way around there. Bit of a different line that time round to previous laps. Tiny kick of oversteer, managed to catch it nicely though. So long as you catch it fast enough, it doesn't have too dramatic effect on you. Bit slow through there though. Oh, lost the rear a bit. And again, and again. Pushing too hard, I've lost the rhythm. Still don't think I'm going to be anywhere near the top in this daily race C, but see where I end up. I'm going to have to make this my last lap and then change my tyres, I think, so start on the hard tyre. I think I was about the only person who pitted on the first attempt of this race that I've done. Braking too late into there now and losing all my time, so that's key corner where I'm just dropping the time at the moment in qualifying efforts. Again, still trying different lines and different things to see what works and see where I actually can catch my ghost and etc, etc. I think I was on something with that mid-corner throttle though. That was definitely faster. Definitely gained me a bit of time with being on the power throughout the corners, but then you're having to obviously get the braking right to be able to do that. So it's a slower lap, but I can handle that, and I'll just go back and change the tyres onto hard, so when I start the race I'll be on hard tyres. There were a lot of people that went off and had mistakes in this at the beginning of the race on their first attempt, so there'll be no doubt a lot of people doing the same this time around, and it is a tricky track at the end of the day, so I completely see why, but as long as you try and keep it on the track the whole time, you've got half a chance of making up positions. Just getting a wheel on the curb too much on the exit. So starting in 9th, so about mid-pack really, gives me a chance to hopefully go forward. Guys in front have got quite a lot quicker lap times in qualifying, to be fair. The guy in first is unbelievably quick with 35.1 compared to the guy in second with 36.3. So he's 1.2 seconds quicker than the guy behind him. This is the guy in first. That is quick. So yeah, starting in 9th, plenty of A-rated players in here. So see where we have number 12 on our bonnet there. You can just about see it. Lots of people starting on the mediums by the look of it as well, or changing at the moment maybe. I forget that you can do it right now instead of coming out into a warm-up. You do get quite bad tyre wear. It's times 13 times 13 tyre wear. Felt like I was going to say that wrong then. Oh, I need to put my brake balance. Put it to the front. Warm up over, quick slurp of Monster. So, let's have a go. Turns out this car that's meant to be the quickest, no one's actually using it that's actually anywhere near the top. Well, there's a couple of people, but not many. Stick with the brake balance. TC off. Yeah, stick with that. So hopefully we'll get onto the straight before it starts, so we're not far off, we're in a straight line. Bit of wheel spin as we get our foot down in first, so the guys behind have a bit of a disadvantage by having to come through that last corner. Straight down the inside on the guy in front of me. Forced me to do it because he broke so early. So up into 7th. Bit wide into there. Just lost me the run through here. Need to gain it back rather than trying to carry the speed. Let's gain the line back. Found that out during qualifying really. If you lose that line and just try and carry on with any kind of speed, it's slower than just getting back on the line and getting the lines right round here. That is the crucial thing. All about the right lines. Certain tracks you can get away with doing all sorts, but this is not one of them. So I don't quite know how I'm up into 7th when I started in 9th and I've only gone past one guy, so something's happened, but I must have missed that. Just trying to keep it neat and tidy. We're in quite a long race here, 12 lap race. Oh, saying that, massive moment of oversteer as I get my foot down a bit too prematurely. Just sandbagged him halfway through that corner, the guy behind then. Right, I'm going to put the TC on. I don't want any more moments like that. He's gone to the outside. Got the inside line for T1. I need to run it side by side with him though. He got there before me. Oh, and the TC's absolutely killed me out of there as well because of the bad line I took. Keep doing that corner wrong and I'm losing about a second through that one corner I bet. And then instead of keeping with the guy in front, I'm having troubles with people behind all of a sudden just because of that one corner. I'm going so slowly through, keep getting the line wrong for it, and it's so punishing when you get it wrong. Anyway, let's try not to panic. I'm back into 8th position now, lost my 7th. But we've still got chance, the race is long. That's where the TC does help me out, coming out of that corner. Get so much understeer through there, that's bad. To be honest, I'm not really driven it on the hard tyre, so I'm not driving to the tyres grip really. I've done so much running on the medium that I'm not quite used to it. So I'm not quite getting the most out of it at the moment. I can tell that just from the way it feels. A bit faster into there that time. The traction control just bogged me down as I tried to get my foot down and there was a bit of oversteer going on. My problem when I put TC on, I rely on it a bit too much and I don't just drive like I was, but use the TC to just kick in when I get it wrong. Guy down the inside. Keep it nice and steady. He's got the position at the end of the day on the inside, so I couldn't really do too much. Could have maybe got out of the corner a little bit quicker than I did, but he had the position on me. By the time I realised he was down the inside, it was too late to do anything about. Down into 9th where I started now. I'm going to put the TC down to 1 and the brake bias back up to -2 instead. Whoa. The guy behind's closing in on me slowly as well. I need to try and get some kind of lap times out of this bad combination. I think I picked the wrong car here. It was the best car on the time on the leaderboards, but driving wise I just don't really like it. There's something about it that I can't really push it. I've got to always feel like I've got to be delicate with it almost and be slower than I need to be. I know some people will be able to drive this car brilliantly, there's nothing wrong with the car, it's just my style of driving and it don't really suit it. I think that's what it is. It's very understeery as well, which never really helps. So I don't left foot brake, and I think it would really help if I did in this car as well. I think it's a car where you really benefit from left foot braking. Someone's in the pits as we go down the start finish straight, pick up 8th position. Looking at the tyre wear, it's not too bad at the moment. Just got to bear it in mind though. Nice and easy through T1 this time, don't want to scrub too much off the tyres and the time. As people in front have been pushing, their tyres will have gone a little bit more potentially as well. So if I can make these next couple of laps count for me, I might have a chance of gaining more positions again. As people might be forced to do a pit a bit earlier than I do with their wear. At the same time it might be a lot better than mine, I have no idea. Still braking way too early for that corner. Oh, massive moment at the rear. Got me all out of line. Get the line back. Get the line back. Oh, for fuck's sake. That is not what I wanted. Got dirty tyres now, so I'll have to be careful through these corners. There we go, massive moment of oversteer. The tyres have got no grip for a moment. And I've got the TC on. So that was a big moment, just lost my time. And just about managed to keep 8th position as the guy comes out of the pits behind me. That's made this race a lot harder doing that. It's always a late dive from someone down the inside. How untidy? You hit me 3 times then. How was that fair? I know, like an overtake's an overtake and you can be aggressive, but that's ridiculous. And those on the fresher tyre there, so oh, I do need to come in the pits. That's ridiculous through there. Didn't even brake late then, and they've still got massive understeer. pit entry is not actually that easy on this track. Oh god. I rolled into that just thinking I'd get some front end grip and I didn't. So I'm going to pit, even though I don't really want to. I'm going to go on the mediums. I'm halfway through the race, so I'll just have a little bit more tyre wear than I do now towards the end of the race on the mediums. If not, pit again. That's put me in a lot lower position though, so coming out in 15th after a stop, but I hope these new tyres, especially mediums, can just gain me some positions and some time. Need a drink, can't speak properly. God, gaining a lot on the brakes just into one corner on that guy then. I thought I could have ended up hitting him then. Catching him mid corner and having to dive to the inside to avoid him. And then, not sure he's aware I'm there. He is now, I've hit him. Oh, he's just taken me out. Did he take me out or was that me turning in on him? I'm not quite sure. I'd like to think it was him taking me out, obviously. But to be fair, I'm not sure. That could have been him turning in on me, me turning in on him a little bit through that corner and giving him nowhere to go and just leaning on him, and I ended up with the worst result as he just carried on. So down into 17th now. This daily race C is not kind to me. Not going well at all. Up into 16th as someone's just quit, I think. So people coming out of the pits have made up a few positions as other people are struggling on the tyres and having to pit. But it does give them the benefit of having slightly fresher tyres than me again, as they've just come out and I've just done a full lap. Pushing now to try and make this work. Can see a few positions to be gained right in front of me with a decent little push here. Got 12th on the bonnet, so it'd be nice if we could beat that. At the moment I can't wish for too much because I'm just not racing well enough and I'm struggling in this car, if I'm honest, to get ultimate pace out of it. Definitely slightly better with TC on one. Oh, it's close. Tricky corners to run close through though, especially going into here. Try getting inside line if it opens up. It's definitely opened up on one guy here. So snuck through. Your prime position to do it on if someone has a moment. Down too early on the seconds, but there we go. Good job, but I don't pay for the car. So another pit stop going on, which puts me potentially up again. Yep, just about get past as he comes out of the pits, up into 12th, which is the number on my bonnet. So I'm currently in the right position to not lose any DR. It'd be nice to gain a little bit. I'm trying to get towards A, I'm getting close to A as well. I'm at the top end of B at the moment in the DR ratings. Quite a few people in SimFX and MRC that see with A, and it is one of them little achievements I wouldn't mind doing. Because once you get to A, I'm just going to never do daily races again, so I can never lose it. Otherwise I'll probably lose it in the second race after really getting it. Oh, big moment. running that curve. I do not like this track. I really like it in the Group 3s. I really got used to it. But in these Group 2s, it's a different animal, is this track. I'm on the edge of control throughout the last 5 corners there. Main thing is I did keep it going. Right, so I'm still in 12th and I'm losing the guys in front. This is not a great situation at the moment. Give myself some monster energy. Literally. Front edge, front end is just, oh, didn't give that any respect. Got the oversteer going and just caught it, tried to catch it with full throttle down. I didn't lift off at all. So I dropped myself a little bit more off the guys in front now. I'm making my own little errors. Looks like they're going a bit slowly though as they bunch up into there. Gap to the guy behind, 3 laps left, 2 laps left after the end of this one. Nice and steady, nice and calm. Closed in on them a little bit. One of the harder group daily races I've done is this one. So another guy in the pits at the moment, another guy coming out. So can I get into 11th as we head into T1 easily before the corner? Don't want too much of a struggle in the end, block the guy behind from coming through. But I've got to consider he's on fresh tyres now, so I might have to defend a little bit. He's looking for the inside already into this one. Going wide on the exit because of that though. It's not good. Gather it all back up, get the line. Oh, bloody hell, can you come past me with a friggin' overtake rather than a ram, please? Jesus, what is wrong with people? I thought these dailies I've been doing recently have been getting better, but there's some people who are just fucking insistent on ramming you. Unless it's me and I'm just not understanding the fact that he's there or something, but I completely felt that he just ran me out of the way. Anyway, that's what happens in the dailies at the end of the day. He's got fresher tyres than me as well, so I know he was going to try and get past, but there's better places to do it and better ways to do it. He's Italian at the end of the day. The way they drive over there, that's probably a nice clean move. Having to feather the throttle and just feel the grip everywhere now really. I can't rely on the knowledge of the grips there really from previous laps because the tyres are going that badly now. So we're on to the last lap. I'm in 12th position, so it's not brilliant. The guy behind me is quite a distance behind, so long as I don't make any major mistakes and go too slowly, I should have my 12th. No, I'm in 11th actually. I think something's just gone wrong for a guy in front. Actually, a bit of concentration gone into this last lap to make sure I don't have an off. Tyres are pretty tricky. Hard enough to drive is this Group 2 car, never mind when the tyres are going. So 11th in the end. I bettered my bonnet position by 1. Where did I start? Started in 9th, so got rammed off. A lot of ramming in this race. There is a chance to dive on quite a few of the corners, but I feel like people are doing it from just a little bit too far back, and they're not really picking up penalties because of it, because you're not knocking each other off the track. So you can get away with it, and people are just coming from miles too far back, getting it late on the brake, straight into the side of you. So long as they don't punt you off track, they're not getting a penalty, and down the inside and off they go. So, not my favourite race, daily race C, it turns out, even though I've just done this long stream of it. So anyway, without much further ado, I think I'm going to leave it there, otherwise I'll end up going on for hours and hours and no one will ever end up watching it, so it's a bit pointless. So thank you very much for watching, especially if you've got this far. I know Phil's been watching for quite a long time, so thank you for sticking with me, Phil. And hopefully you'll join me for something else that I do soon. So take care, see you again soon. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, adios. See you for tonight's race if you're involved in the SimFX 1 hour Group 3 endurance race. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure most people are that are involved in it. So I'll see you all tonight, and it should be a good finish to the championship at Spa. Anyway, take care, see you again soon, bye.